Segment 2, Gold and Black Live, and we really we're in the thick of things here at the Big O Sports Room. Bruno's, as everyone knows in the Lafayette area, is closing, and that's a bittersweet time for the Iten family. But the Big O Sports Sale tomorrow, and that's what time is it tomorrow?
We're gonna go 10 to 4 here at Bruno's,
and we are amidst all the items, and we're in the I guess you call this room this is the main.
We call it the Big O Sports Room.
But the whole area, and you've got how many pieces are going to be?
I would say there's probably at least probably 1,000 items. Not my complete collection. Everybody thinks we're getting rid of everything, but I still have some items, have some possibilities down the road in the future. I'm not going to give out too many information, but when I do, I can get a hold of Alan and let him know what's going on.
Yeah, we're the conduit to everything information.
We've always got something going on in the future. So
the
next step, I think.
Yeah, and I think that was a question that a lot of folks have had is, this is obviously the closing of the restaurant on Brown Street due to a project that's going on at a hotel and apartment complex coming in and other things, but this isn't necessarily the end. I know you guys aren't ready to talk about exactly what's next for Bruno's.
Exactly.
But are you safe to say that something is next?
Yeah, I think there's always something going to always pop up. We know we always got our ears open to see what's going to happen. And, the sports memorabilia with me is, with Purdue and everything, I've got a lot of extra things. So I wanted to make some of the availability to some of the people who have been here a long time and they've seen a lot of the items. So some of the things will be available to them, put them in their own collection and keep them going on, because I'm getting a little older now, so I got to get rid of a few things. I don't know if all my nieces are going to want to try to get rid of all this someday, but it's going to make it a little easier on them. Plus, I can share with some of my items I've collected for the last 50 years, 50, 60 years since I've been collecting, and give everybody else a chance to enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed it. And I've had some ex-players reach out. I've given some stuff back to the players, and some of the people who work for me have been on the walls that played here and played volleyball here, and I've had their parents come and get the pictures off the wall, and it's been kind of fun doing that. And I've had some phone calls from other players. I also had some phone calls from some ex-players want to know if they needed some help to keep it going. I said, well, right now the future is going to be bright. We'll have something going. Something might happen, but timing is right for the family. It's going to be a great project down here. I know some people are kind of against some of the development, but it's going to be like a two 7-story building is going to make the levee is going to really improve here, and we're going to have a lot more people come in this area. You're going to have some retail and have some apartments, a little bit of mixed use, and I think it'll be a great complex.
Well, it's interesting because you in 1999 had to make a move across the way. It was 99, right? And
that was a forced move. That was the state came. The state came and did that eminent domain. So this is we've been working about 3 years the project on this right now, and now I want to let everybody know we negotiated with them for 3 years. It's bittersweet, very bittersweet. That's what we've said that word. My brother and I have said that word so many times in the last week and a half. It's only been over a week since our last day. It seems like it's been like a month already, but we've been getting some stuff ready here, and we noticed we've been keeping some of the equipment. So when the people come by, if they see us taking a lot of equipment out, that's a good sign. That means must be something going on with that. So we'll see what happens.
There isn't any question of something, and you're right. It is the Iten family with Orlando, who's sitting next to me, and brother Bruno and sister Tina. It has been a family tradition dating back to your dad, 1955.
Yeah, 55.
I remember the days of Blessed Sacrament and all the things that our church the great supper that your dad brought together. It's a phenomenal tradition. And were you surprised by the outpouring in the last week? I mean, it became a social media thing, and then all of a sudden everybody started saying
it was overwhelming with the support from the community, and it's been that way for all these years. That's what we've been. We built our business was built on all the families and all the community, and so that way we stayed in business for all the people in the area to come out and support us. And the last 2 nights, I want to put a little quick plug in. One of my good friend of mine, Brad Cohen, was here. Both nights. The last 2 nights he was here both nights. So.
Yeah,
and my dad and Arnie were the best of friends. My dad greeted Arnie when he first opened up. About 10-year difference. We were 10 years ahead of them, and the families have been really close. And I think people don't realize that you could be a business and still be friends. be competitors or still be friends. And
Yeah.
we put that little West Lafayette Red Devil push in there since Alan's a
Yeah, there you go.
Red Devil,
Well,
all of us.
and there's no greater, in my view, because Brad wrote such a nice note, I think,
He
on
did.
Facebook about that we post on our site, but no greater really talking about the great community that we have here, and you guys are the two shining examples, because that's really what this place has been all about. Has been the community, and this has been a place that people have come to before Purdue basketball games, but also Christmas Eve is the biggest thing here. It has been a phenomenal tradition for a very, very.
And we've had so many generations of people,
Yeah.
you know, they got married here and they're like grandkids and grandparents in a generation. So we're already third generation with the family and the nieces and everybody. So it's been a big family affair. And it's like you know, I always look at everybody's family. So we keep track of everybody, how we get employees to call us back, and a good, you know, a good outreach and an outpouring of support from some ex-employees. And, you know, a lot of and we've heard a lot from, you know, people who went to school here, you know, call me back or come to visit. But the sad part is a lot of the ones come back to town, they don't know we're closed up. So it's kind of sad when they come to the door. And we had people, we were here last night doing some things, and, you know, there's ladders everywhere and things are, and people walk in the door one day, they go, "Can I get a table for two?" And I go, have you looked around a little bit? And ladders everywhere and the ovens are kind of missing. And, but yeah, it's been overwhelming support.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, this place, if you're listening this before Saturday or watching this 10 to 4 on Saturday for the sale, it is a virtual museum of Purdue. It's not all Purdue stuff, but very,
got a little bit of both.
Very, very vast majority. But I could sit here for about another 5 hours. Some of our gold and black covers are here, game programs, to signed helmets. How many helmets are there?
I think there's probably at least 100 mini helmets. Probably 150 jerseys of former Purdue players that are professional jerseys or Purdue jerseys, programs, autographs. We have some of the
posters,
cheerleader pictures and things that are on the walls. A lot of things are signed to Bruno's. A lot of things signed to Big O. So a lot of times I had the same item signed to both of us. So I've got some extras. So, you know, I'm not getting rid of all my stuff. So it's like, you know, it's not like a fire sale or anything, but it's going to be somewhere I can share some of the memorabilia with other people, and they can, you know, I know everybody's got a little man cave or something they want to put up, and so we got a little bit of everything. You got a lot of everything, and we're probably, you know, depending on the crowd, we're going to have, you know, 25 people at a time to come in, so everybody can kind of be able to see everything, and then we'll kind of let people come and go, and we'll kind of control the crowd, you know, as long as the snow stays away too bad. See everybody get here. So. Well, your story has been about the relationships you've built. I mean, yes, the high profile guys, the Drew Breeses of the world, your close friend, and has always been supportive of this. The Mike Allstotts, the Roosevelt Colvins, the Bob Greaseys. We've been in here with all these guys over the years, the Mark Hermans, the Bart Burles, on down the line. Talk about that. I mean, just the life you've had in this. You're obviously been a big sports guy your entire life, but the ability to, you've collected stuff, but it's all been about building relationships with all these people. I think the relationship to be able to know these guys and talk to them and keep in touch with them. I've had another one that Alan didn't mention. I had Dustin Keller reached out and talked to Dustin a lot, and he being local, going Lafayette Jeff and being here, a really good friend. And an NFL first rounder, by the way. But and I also got to send, I had a jersey for Bart Burrell. We got that mailed out to Bart. I think we're gonna send it to Florida, or his daughter's gonna take that. And I've had some other players reach out for some of, and Matt Light's daughter was in, she goes to Purdue, and I had a picture of myself and Matt making pizza, and she goes, "Can I get a copy of that picture?" So she came down the other day, and I dug that picture out, and that's kind of fun. Now you get all these kids, they're going to school, their parents are athletes here, you know. It's amazing, you know, Conza Martin's son, you know, here, and you get everybody coming in to visit. Now that they got their kids going to school. It's really, really cool to see that. And I always had a story with a lot of the ex-players. I said, if you guys don't come back to visit, I'm going to take your picture off the wall. So I put somebody else up. So that was kind of my, to get a little dig into them. So, well, I think
provided your fair share of pizzas to these guys over the years, and have been very, very gracious. Even with Golden Black, he has been a sponsor of ours and a supporter of so many things that we've been about, going back to even before I was with Golden Black. It's been extremely important to our success, and part of the, like I said, it is the ultimate family business, but it really involves the Purdue family and then some. All right, we got to ask you a little basketball question, because obviously the Boilermakers had a challenging one last night. Got the job done.
They got over the hump.
But and I know you want to do. We're going to just you and Tom Schott, of course, longtime Purdue administrator, and still working over and worked in athletics and worked at the university now. But talking about the fact that you love these memorabilia shows. Chris Pate, another guy that collects. It's important that this stuff stays around. I mean, that's the thing. It's the history of Purdue sports, men and women, that you're telling by all these items.
Yeah, we're trying to keep the history alive. And what also, you mentioned Chris Pate, and there's a couple other younger collectors I've kind of passed on. I guess I kind of passed the torch down. I started getting some of my
items. You're too young for that.
Items to them, because their collections are going to keep getting bigger. So
yeah,
I think they're doing some things going on at Purdue that are going to be some displays possibly in the future. I think there's something going on. I don't know exactly, but I don't know if I can. I can't say too much about that, but there are going to be possibly some displays going on. I know I am working on a thing with the West Lafayette Library for my collection of West Lafayette athletes. Matter of fact, we're in the process that highlighting some exhibit at the library. I think my Bob Friend collection, I have a lot of stuff from Bob Friend. A lot of people don't realize that he went to West Lafayette. I've got George Karloffis, and then we'll go over to the Harrison group. We'll have Eric Bruntlett, Josh Lindblom, and we're probably going to have Todd Dunwoody involved with that, and maybe Eric Sable and Josh Logan. So we're gonna have to keep some of that memorabilia going. So I can't have it all at my house, and since I don't have a restaurant to display it anymore, I got to kind of branch it out. And I think eventually the Caretaker's Cottage is looking for some memorabilia, and I think we can highlight some stuff in there, and maybe some of my astronaut items, and some other things, maybe Johnny Wood and a few things there. So we're gonna kind of get a little piece of that a little bit, and have almost like a traveling road show, but we'll have a museum where people. I don't want it stuck in a basement somewhere or a closet. And I want to be availability where people can go look at it and see the history and preserve the history. And we try to do more of that over at Purdue right now. We can get some of that done with some of the Purdue stuff, and show the history of everything.
I always I take credit, which I do not deserve, but you and I went to a baseball game, my first Cubs game, 1969. We're the Babe Ruth state champions, and I'm busy trying to get Ernie Banks' autograph. Hank Aaron hits the ball, hits to your seat. You grab the ball, get it signed. I think Ernie Banks. I'm probably embellished the heck out of the story, and I know it didn't start your collection. But where did you? I mean, is this something that when you started it? How did it get going?
Somebody asked me on a TV interview this week. They asked me, "How did you start collecting?" Well, I started collecting baseball cards when I was a kid. Like on the west side, I'd go up to Hooks. I'd go get a box of cards, and then my first real encounter was going to Purdue games over at Ross-Ade. It was probably Leroy Keys' freshman or sophomore year. I chased him down after the game and got his chin strap.
Yeah, that was a big deal back then.
Everybody's still doing it. Going to be my late 60s now. I'm still chasing players. So it's kind of almost embarrassing sometimes to go to a ball game and try to get something from somebody. But that's kind of fun doing that. It keeps the kid in me alive. So.
Yeah, you've had some great names: Glenn Robinson, Leroy Keys, of course, legends. Rick Mount. You did a memorabilia show with Rick when Tom Schott here a couple of weeks ago, and that was good to see Rick back in the fold too, because it is important to Purdue people.
Yes.
And you are the history of this program. We're living history maybe this year with this basketball team, but this is the great tradition of this program: football, basketball, and it's not just football and basketball. You've got Purdue's great volleyball tradition here.
And we had a couple of volleyball girls out there at the show. So, and the show's put on.
Yeah, Chloe Chacoin's a good prize.
She had a big crowd. And we had Dylan Thieneman in there, and we also added on we kind of did a little different. We got Bruce Barker from the Piano Man's a good friend of mine, and we had people mail in cactus cups to get signed. I thought that was awesome. So it's kind of a Tom Schott, myself, and Eddie Keister. We formed a group. It's called Rail Splitters Authentics, and we have a website with some Purdue pictures and autographs, and So we get a lot of things. So now we're, working on our next show in August at the fairgrounds.
And so that's going to
facility.
continue,
Yep.
and with you and Tom doing those are terrific. And Eddie, we're going to give him a shout out because he's been the key grip today, getting us set up. But it is going to be a busy day tomorrow, and a bit. And again, use that word bittersweet again, but it will be. I'm going to guess you're going to literally blow the doors off.
I think it'll be. I think some people are going to enjoy coming and see. There's a lot of stuff here that there's some other stuff that wasn't on the walls I brought in. The extra stuff I had at home, some programs and things. There's a lot of stuff I can't display because in the last couple of years, I haven't been able, there wasn't any wall space left. And like my dad always told me, the one room I couldn't put any Swiss, Swiss room was just for Swiss items. So I was always honored that couldn't put, sports stuff in there. So, or I couldn't put them on the ceiling, but I got a lot of things that I think everybody will enjoy, just to come and see it and just reminisce. I think you don't even buy anything, just come by and say hello, and I can thank you for being a customer, and as much as you guys enjoy coming, I want to tell them I enjoy you guys being here. So
yeah, no doubt. All right, last question. Do you have a favorite item of all time? Is there one that you just say, this is my prized collection?
Well, I guess somebody asked me that question this week too, and I have to think about. I got a football that Drew sent me when he had to pass the record of most yardage. He got one of the game balls for me and signed it, and a bunch of the guys were down at the game, and Chris Clapton and Kelly Kitchell, the whole group was down there and called me. So they got something coming for you, and they sent me a program signed to Big O, and the ball was signed to Big O, and it was when Drew had the record, had set the record for the NFL record for passing yardage, and that's one of my prize items. That's something I always keep. And then I have a few Johnny Wooden stories. When Alan was involved with the Johnny Wooden with the reunion, with Gold and Black, and we still got a bunch of that. And it's too bad we didn't have cell phones back then. So we couldn't get any camera pictures. We had a party up the upstairs, old Bruno's, and Johnny Wooden held court, and everybody just sat there and listened to him. It was like unbelievable being in his presence. It's a chance of a lifetime. We also had with Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan.
Right, one of the
Drew
best.
were here after NFF dinner. That was probably one of my highlights of having here those guys here, and then got to be good friends with Gene Cernan for over the years. And he came back here about 3 or 4 different times and talked about being on the moon and how he wrecked the moon rover, and he damaged the fender, and I thought that was hilarious. So
there is a story behind every piece.
Maybe Alan, we could have to do a new book.
I think that
might have to do a new book.
Well, and I like the fact Rick Mount is over our shoulder. He's going to be on our show next week, and we'll talk about Big O, I'm sure, while we sit at Stookie's in Thorntown.
We had a lot. We had laughed a lot when Rick was out the show. It was kind of fun to reminisce with him.
Yeah, and Glenn Robinson also over our shoulder as well. So make sure if you get the chance, and if you missed it, stay in touch, because there's more of this to come from Big O, from Bruno's on down the line. But we appreciate
it. I appreciate everybody. Thank you very much, the community, everybody. Thank you.
And speaking from my
thanks to Alan.
Yeah, speaking from my compadres and my colleagues at Gold and Black, and all the people who've been involved with it all this years, we're grateful to you, all the great things you've done. So, all right, we're going to boiler up for Purdue and we're going to have our third segment today. Tim Spiker, I think a guy that when he was here for a couple of years, a leadership guru, and I'm sure you got to know him a little bit as a walk-on. His dad was a trainer at Purdue. He will join us for our last segment. Stay tuned, and we'll have more from Gold and Black.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Hit stop. What's up there? And I'll cut this past bit. So what I do, if I hit the thing, there we go.